Are we ready to start?
Please confirm that you can see the screen. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on our very first webinar hosted by the MENA Alliance for Green Schools. I'm Sarah Harb. I'll be moderating today's session. I'm a sustainability consultant and architect with a strong focus on carbon footprint analysis and reporting. I serve as a board member for the Egypt Green Building Council, and I'm a member of the advisory committee of the MENA Alliance for Green Schools. I'm particularly passionate about sustainable schools and the role they play in shaping future generations, and it's this passion that drives my work with the MENA Alliance for Green Schools. Today's session, titled Education and Sustainability, Mapping the Status of Green Schools in the MENA region, will explore the current state of green schools from various perspectives. We'll also discuss the role each of us can play in supporting schools in their journey towards sustainability. This webinar is particularly timely. It coincides with the International Education Day, which is celebrated tomorrow, January 24th. In 2018, the United Nations General Assembly declared this day as the International Day of Education, recognizing education's essential contribution to global peace and sustainable development. This day highlights the critical role that education plays in advancing sustainability and shaping a better future. So at the MENA Alliance, we couldn't think of a better way to celebrate than by bringing together all of your precious voices to share ideas and spark meaningful conversations. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to introduce the MENA Alliance for Green Schools. It was founded in 2023. Our vision is to empower the next generation in the MENA region to take the lead in climate action. How? It's by fostering, as simple as that, fostering environmental stewardship among the youth. We focus on advancing climate action through three key pillars: students, teachers, and schools. Our mission is to support educational systems across the MENA region by preparing every learner, educator, and school to be climate ready. We aim to achieve this by building cross-border partnerships that promote learning experiences, campaigns, and hands-on projects, all designed to accelerate the transition to sustainable and resilient communities. Our objectives are very simple yet impactful. We aim to support educational institutions in transitioning to sustainable built environments, equip students with the knowledge and experience needed to lead climate action, and finally, empower teachers to confidently teach about climate change and environmental sustainability. We'd appreciate it if you could now take a few minutes to answer a few questions and share with us the current efforts in your country to greening educational institutions. Your insights will help us understand the progress being made and identify areas for further collaboration. So if you can take a few minutes, then we'll start.
So we hope that the survey you find interesting and useful, because it will support us at the MENA Alliance for Green Schools to understand what's really going on in the MENA region. And we know that there are amazing efforts going on from our engagement with different MENA Green Building Councils and through our engagement with different organizations. And I think, Sarah, this is about time that I mean,
Perfect.
please do submit the survey because we need as many answers as possible for us to create that understanding of what's going on.
Thank you very much, Lana. Now that we've set the stage for today's discussion, it's time to hear from the experts who will be guiding us through various topics. I'm thrilled to introduce our distinguished speakers, each bringing a wealth of knowledge and experience in their respective fields. Starting off with Arwa Nabil Diab, analyst, youth and community in the Abu Dhabi Environment Agency. She's an accomplished environmental outreach professional. Arwa is dedicated to driving impactful campaigns and initiatives that promote sustainability, elevate program participation, and engage communities. She's very known for her innovative strategies, detailed analysis, and successful event execution. Arwa brings a passion for environmental sustainability to every project, with expertise in project management, budgeting, and stakeholder engagement. She consistently delivers transformative outcomes, advancing organizational goals, and fostering meaningful change. We're very happy to have you on board with us, Arwa, today.
Thank you,
And,
Sarah.
and moving on to Ibrahim. Runful. Ibrahim is a distinguished design manager and senior mechanical engineer with over 19 years of experience at Dar al Handasa, where he has played a pivotal role in delivering transformative projects within the construction industry. He's also a passionate advocate for environmental stewardship, and he's the founder of the Sustainability Movement and Green Leaders NGO, a groundbreaking organization dedicated to advancing sustainable development and promoting environmental awareness with a very strong focus on engaging university and K-12 students. His initiatives are extremely thrilling. They're inspiring and they empower young minds to become future leaders in sustainability. In addition to his professional achievements, Ibrahim serves on the advisory committee in our MENA Alliance for Green Schools, again reflecting his dedication to fostering sustainable education and practices. Moving on to Juan. Juan is a team leader on Greening Education Partnership in the section of Education for Sustainable Development at the UNESCO headquarters. Juan works as UNESCO's focal point on climate change education and action for climate empowerment. She's also the lead of the Secretariat of the Greening Education Partnership, which supports around 96 member states and over 1,600 members in strengthening synergies and collaboration on climate change and education globally. Before joining UNESCO, Juan was also the executive director of Tong Yong Foundation for ASD, an education center called Sejahtera Forest in the Republic of Korea. She also served, among others, as the coordinator of the United Nations affiliated regional centers of expertise on ASD in the Asia Pacific region. We can tell that she's extremely passionate about promoting educational for sustainable development at a local, national, and global levels. Thank you very much, Juan, for being with us today. Last but definitely not least, we have Dr. Sausan Al-Akhdar. She's a board member of the Tunisia Green Building Council and a leader of the Alliance for the Green Schools program. She has over 13 years of experience as an associate professor at ISG Tunis. She combines her expertise in marketing and communication strategy with a focus on innovation, inclusivity, and sustainability. She's a passionate academic researcher and consultant. Dr. Sausan is dedicated to fostering critical thinking, creativity, and impactful change through education, consulting, and community engagement. Thank you very much, Sausan, for being with us. And I'm thrilled, I'm sure as all of you, with the breadth of topics we'll be able to be discussing today. And now we can start with our first question. Starting off with Arwa. As an analyst for youth and community at the Abu Dhabi Environment Agency, how do you engage young people in sustainability efforts?
Thank you for the question, Sarah, and thank you for having me today. I'm really excited to speak about our different community engagement initiatives. Many of them are dedicated to environmental education, and the other part is mostly dedicated to environment outreach. In the Environment Agency of Abu Dhabi, I work with the NAHA platform, and under this platform, there are a number of initiatives that are dedicated to different parts of the community. So we have part of our initiatives are targeted, يعني they target schools. A part of our initiatives target youth in general. Part of our initiatives also target the community. From my experience, I work and manage the Sustainable Schools Initiative. and this initiative has been established in 2009. So it's been going on for, well, a few years now, since 2009. And the aim of our Sustainable Schools initiative is to provide a hands-on experience for schools in sustainability. And when we talk about schools in the Sustainable Schools initiative, we talk about the school as a whole, we talk about teachers, and finally, and most importantly, we talk about students. We encourage students to take action by being active in their eco clubs, or by taking in part in field trips, or by taking training courses that are available for them, and they're available also for the whole community through our different platforms. In the Sustainable Schools initiative, we provide many resources for the students to enable them to uh, uh, to uh, to start with sustainability. When we aim for sustainability, when we aim to build a sustainable community, we realize that we have to start young. When once we instill these concepts into the students when they're young, they grow up unconsciously adopting these concepts and adopting sustainability as a part of their everyday life. One of our many initiatives, and also another great initiative that I work on, is Murshid Youth Rangers program. In this program, we recruit youth aged from 14 to 17, usually from they're usually in school, and we take them and provide them with, again, hands-on experience with how is it to be an eco ranger in Abu Dhabi, in our city. With that, we take them to the protected area, and we make sure that they are exposed to the different natural aspects of Abu Dhabi. So, for example, in 2023, we led this program in Al Wasba Wetland Reserve, which is one of the protected areas in Abu Dhabi that is partially open for the public. But when we took them to Al Wasba Wetland Reserve, it was not like a field trip that they do and then they go home. No, we made sure that these youth that are participating, uh, that they take on the role of an eco ranger. So they go back to the protected area on their free time and they volunteer in the protected area, of course, with the supervision of our experts there and the supervision of the team from education. In Murshid, we provide them with different types of knowledge, and we provide them with professional training that these young people are exposed to the environment, and that they one day might consider following an environmental or an environment related career path. So when we show them when they're at 14 till 17 years old, how is it to be a youth ranger? How is it to take care of a protected area? What are the different repercussions of different human activity on the protected area? um, these experiences provide us with a really deep insight on the current status of our awareness, the current status of our outreach effort, which ends up leading us to even making it more tailored and making it more adaptive to finally achieve our goal, which is to bring awareness environmental awareness to the community. So, and your question was asking me about how I myself do it. So through my engagement with these young people, through my engagement with the different schools, it enables me to establish partnerships and establish networking opportunities in which we make sure that our stakeholders are engaged, uh, either they're young people, either they're schools, or even other government agencies, and we make sure that our youth are engaged in our different programs.
Thank you very much, Arwa. Um, It's very inspiring to hear about the efforts and the important role that young people play in driving change and all the efforts you take. Thank you very much. Moving on to Ibrahim. DAR is leading a sustainability movement for schools through the Green Apple Day of Service campaign in collaboration with regional GBCs and NGOs. Could you elaborate on the key challenges faced and the impact achieved?
Thank you, Sarah, and good afternoon, everyone. I know this might be a tough question to answer in 5 minutes. We've been in a movement that have transformative journey over 13 years and an impact of over 90,000 students. Actually, sustainability movement started in 2012, an initiative by USGBC, the Center for Green Schools, and it caught my attention at DAR, and we decided to have the change. Our first ever event was at SABIS, the school that I've graduated from. We started with presentation and engaged in 2 activities, hands-on activities. It was water audit and planting a vegetable garden back then. We have seen the engagement in the student eyes. And just when we completed the event, I received a call from the school principal asking to reserve another event in the next year, 2013. This gave us a big empowerment, a start that we need to keep the momentum. We called for volunteers, and we've been seeing throughout the years that engagement in the volunteers, professionals, and employees at DAR want to serve and want to give back. And on the other hand, the students are getting influenced, and we're seeing the transformation in the school and students, and the behavior. Everything is being more engaged, and we're feeling the impact directly in the students. This have been extended also throughout outside the school boundary and the students, to the parents, to the community. And we've heard of schools that were not engaged doing Green Apple Day of Service, and especially in Lebanon, where we started there. We then advanced and start to grow and advance on the hands-on activity, and we expanded to 5 countries where we have DAR offices: Cairo, Dubai, Jordan, India, Pune, and of course Lebanon, where we've started. We also set more impactful hands-on activities like passive cooling, solar oven, and engaged more in national environmental issues that, for example, the issue of the waste that happened in 2015 in Lebanon. We start to focus more on circular economy and teach and give insights and transform on sortation and recycling in schools. To keep it short, the movement started small but has grown into a catalyst for change, inspiring students, professionals, and communities to more sustainable practices and choice.
Could you elaborate very shortly on the key challenges that you faced?
The challenges, first, with engaging volunteers at the start, but while the momentum get caught there and they trust that you're doing something impactful, you will see in the first year we were 4 volunteers. In 5 years we were 500 volunteers in 1 year. When the community or the professionals see the impact, the trust, they will get engaged. This was a challenge to show the impact and the transparency, and they see the impact of what we were doing. And whenever a volunteer was engaging, they were coming in and having the spreading the word of how how this experience was rewarding, if feeling the change in the school and the students and the new generation. We're building a new generation that have eco-conscious responsibility.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. It's very inspiring to see how Dar is leading the way in creating sustainable schools. Moving on
And
to Juan. Oh, Ibrahim, you want to add something?
I want to add something. Yeah,
Yes, please do.
we have also collaborated with the GBCs and NGOs, Emirates Game Building Council, Egypt Green Building Council, Jordan Green Building Council were part also of our collaboration with also Lebanon, for sure. Wherever we're operating, we're having also collaboration. Also with the Green Leaders, the NGO, we've added more volunteers and efforts there to make it more impactful.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. And I would kindly ask all attendees if you can add your questions in the chat so we can have them address them all at the very end. Thank you very much. Moving on to Juan. From UNESCO's perspective, what are the most impactful strategies to incorporate sustainability education in the school curricula?
Thank you very much, Sarah, and good morning, good afternoon to you all. I would like to just quickly share my screen so that we can have an overview of and present some of the key strategies that UNESCO would like to present. First of all, I think it's very important that we work with the presentation that was shared. These examples really speak about the need for collaboration and partnership. So in that regard, UNESCO is now the secretariat of this global partnership on climate education, which includes the greening of the schools as one of the key areas. So working together, then what can we do together? So in this regard, we think that it's important from UNESCO to support setting of a global common standard of what we mean by green school. What do we mean by greening the curriculum, teacher training, and communities? So setting the global standard is something that we all need to work together. And for now, I'm happy to share that we have the global standard on greening school and greening curriculum, and the two additional standards on teachers and communities are coming up together. So the QR codes that you see on the screen for the pillar 3 and 4 are the drafts that are in consultation at the moment. And while we all set the global standard together for what we mean by greening of schools and curriculum, at the same time, we felt that one of the key strategies that UNESCO can present is to propose that we establish a common target. Where do we all want to go together? As just now, Ibrahim and others have been sharing, there are amazing projects going on at the same time. But at the same time, we want to compile all the amazing work being done by individual organization into a collective celebration achievements. So that's why we're setting target by 2030 for each country to have their 50% of schools climate ready and greened, and 90% of countries having some sort of green curriculum in their national standards. So with this goal, I would like to just spend a little bit of time to introduce the Green School Quality Standard. So we're now talking about what it means to have green schools. And this quality standard, which is a result of a very comprehensive 2 years of consultation across the world, sets the minimum standard as a common framework on what we mean by activities in a school to be greened. So there are areas, for example, many of you are experts in facilities and operations, so how to make sure that energy and everything is sustainable, but also the content, the teaching and learning, and how those decisions are being made in schools. So making sure there's a participatory school governance as well as engagement with the local community. So this standard is now available in English and French, and soon, very soon, in the next couple of months, we'll have the version almost ready to be published in Arabic. So we hope that this will be something that you may wish to refer to in the MENA region. And I'm just simply sharing with some of the examples of what it looks like inside of this standard, which are lists of different activities that each school can pick and choose. And you can see in the second column, there's low, high, moderate. So that depends on the amount of resources each school can use for these activities. So we are inviting schools to use at least 30% of the activities presented in the standard to be aligned and recognized globally as a green school. So in this exercise, currently, for example, the UAE, as the host of COP28, had already joined together over almost all of their public schools as part of this exercise. So I invite all of you to take this into consideration, and I will leave further links of how you can submit your alignment and express that you are contributing to Green School movement in the chat afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Juan. It's very exciting to see the strong commitment to integrating sustainability education at all levels. Thank you very much. Moving on to Dr. Sausan. How can sustainable marketing and corporate communication drive the green schools movement in MENA countries?
Good afternoon, everyone. Maybe marketing is generally linked to, social media content, promotions, commercials, but marketing is mainly a matter of strategy. And I think that marketing can be a valuable tool for our Alliance for Green Schools, because it's not just, about selling, or, we have this idea that marketing makes you sell things you don't need, but actually marketing could be applied to people, ideas, programs. And for Alliance for Green Schools program, it could be a valuable tool, because it's mainly about understanding different contexts, deeply understanding these contexts, understanding the targets. And here we have, again, different targets according to different contexts and countries. And then, depending on these targets, we will craft efficient strategies and plans based on different channels, different narratives, different contexts, and different tools. So, for example, for our Alliance for Green Schools, here again we have different contexts, different countries, and in each country we have different challenges and new opportunities, different targets at, for example, we have the students, and here again we have different levels. We have the primary and the secondary and universities, and here again we have different targets. So we need different tools, different channels, different vocabulary, different narratives and conversations with these different targets. Again, we have other targets like governments, PR, media, relationships, management. Also, we have parents, and here again we have to craft, very particular strategies for each of these targets differently from the others to have to achieve our goals. To first of all raise the awareness of sustainable challenges, and then educate our targets, which are mainly students and teachers. So here again, I think that if we need to start by something, it's start by studying the current situation of sustainability in our schools. And depending on this, we can craft very particular and well-defined strategies. Again, for communication, for corporate communication, we have offline and online tools. And again, we have to select, it's not merely having, social media channels and publishing every day, different content, but it's mainly about where to say, what to say, and for which reason or issue we are saying we're creating this content. But what we have to maybe to learn from each other's experiences on communication and marketing strategies with different contexts. And here we were seeing the very interesting Green Schools quality standards. And I think there is a great job to do for communication with different targets to inform about this quality standards, and to educate people and about the different, KPIs and aspects of these standards, to make all the actors understand these parts and work to have greener schools.
Thank you very much, Sausan. Back to Arwa. What role do
Hello.
different stakeholders play in advocating education for sustainability?
So thank you for the question, Sarah, and really thank you for everyone who gave in their insights on their national efforts when it comes to sustainability. So and when it comes to, let's say, when it comes to community partnerships and advancing educating for sustainability, this drives me back to the Sustainable Schools Initiative, because and any other initiatives and under NAHA. So again, in SSI, we educate students about sustainability and we encourage their participation in environmental projects. We conduct programs and other sessions, and one of the many things that we have been working on within the initiatives is its four components, such as the green school audit. When Ibrahim mentioned the green schools, the green audit or their schools audit, it brought me back to the green school audit, which could be a great example of how our partnerships advance educating in sustainability. For example, in SSI, we have around 118,000 school members that actively conduct the green audit. And we found that through their active conduction of the green audit, they've saved 68,000 liters of water, and they have recycled that. They recycled the amount. We found great monthly savings. We found even greater CO2 emission savings, like around 435 million tons of CO2 emissions that have been saved as a result of conducting the green audit continuously. And we also found a great improvement in how schools handle waste. For example, through the initiative through our initiative and our continued partnerships, now we have 83% of our schools that recycle their waste. They recycle their paper, their plastics, and their material. They use the recycled food waste into their fertilizers. We currently have 562 active schools under the initiative, and these schools make sure to engage their eco clubs. We have around 17,000 students that are actively conducting events under their eco clubs in their schools, and that are connecting to nature through their field trips. So only in 2024 we had around 71,000 field trips that 116 schools have conducted, and they made sure to link environmental field trips to their curriculum. So when we talk about advancing education, community partnerships come at handy because, for example, in the Sustainable Schools Initiative, we have a strong collaboration with the Department of Education and Knowledge in Abu Dhabi, and a strong collaboration with Ministry of Education in the UAE. Most of our schools are from Abu Dhabi, but we have other schools that are also from around the UAE. And this partnership brings about the conduction of the initiative. And the conduction of the initiative is not only a conduction of the initiative as a separate unit. No, since it is a holistic program, and it is a program that aims to elevate the school students and teachers, even staff, and even the school's building. That is this, all of these factors combined end up advancing our efforts in environmental education. So, and this does not cover everything, but I hope that I have answered the question. If
Thank you very much, Arwa. You covered it really well, and you highlighted the importance of partnerships and collective action. Thank you very much. Back to Ibrahim. What strategies can schools implement to optimize energy and water efficiency through design and engineering solutions?
Thank you, Sarah. And before if I'm looking from as a consultant or from as engineers, Any engineer that's looking for designing a school have to ask himself, what's the difference between a school and any other building? It's the building itself is the same, but when we think about the sustainable principles in schools, we're not just talking about reducing bills or reducing carbon or the basic sustainability. We're talking about creating healthier, more inspiring, and I repeat, inspiring environments for our children to learn in and to get influenced about the sustainability principles within the building itself and the operation in the building. To list briefly on what we can do, I don't want to go very technical here, but I list some criteria or principles that we can go to reduce energy and water. And it's a holistic approach with the indoor air quality within the schools is very important as well. But to focus on energy, from an engineering perspective, we need to see to approach the passive design principles, where we check or look for strategic building orientation and try to engage more into natural ventilation and skylights, and to introduce natural daylight into the building, while having more into insulated buildings to reduce into the air conditioning and the climate control within the building. This take us to the further step in designing a high performance building, and that looks directly is connected to the envelope to work specifically on the insulation and the heat gain. The HVAC systems, designing the more efficient chillers, variables, frequency drives, and to have the air conditioning that's consuming mainly 70% or more of the energy within the building, to have it well optimized, that have high performance, and to have recovery systems within this. Those systems could be also introduced to the students, and they can see how the building is operated when they are getting more and when they start to grow up. We can have internal tours within the school to educate students on how their school systems operate to have more efficient. Not to miss the renewable energy. It has solar panels, if we can have for sure the lighting to be LED lighting, and the most important is the control of the building, to have it more into the automated BMS, and now the AI is going in, and this way. Briefly to speak about the water, for sure low flow fixtures in the water, rainwater harvesting. We've did one of the Green Apple Day of Service activities, and I'm linking to the first question, where we have collected part of the rainwater from the school to be stored in tank, where they are reused this for irrigation, gray water recycling, smart irrigation systems, and so on. But to look all over the engineering of all this, the most important thing is to have the systems more inspiring for the students, and to have an integrated design approach where multidisciplinary teams sit together, design the building that it's reflecting to the students itself, they can inspire from what they live, and most importantly, to focus on the health well-being of the students, to align with any certifications, LEED, استدامة, SAFAT, that could be in practice for that project, and and this from design perspective. While we're going to the operation, this needs more follow up from an operator to keep the energy and water running in most efficient approach.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Your suggestions could definitely help schools make more meaningful impacts in their sustainability efforts, focusing on energy and water efficiency. Thank you very much once again. Moving on to Juan. How does the UNESCO collaborate with governments and local organizations to support green schools in the MENA region?
Thanks, Sarah. Yes, so to accelerate action on this topic in the region, one of the things that we really particularly would like to do and support work with the countries is to first of all create political commitment around the importance of green schools and making sure that climate education is integrated. So among the 96 member states of the Greening Education Partnership, you can see the list of all the MENA countries that are members. So except for Syria and Yemen, all the MENA countries are included, I think. And then there are many examples of MENA leadership at global level that influences the overall work. For example, our dear partners, Emirates Green Building Council, is now leading development of the global green school building guidance that will be complementary to the green school quality standard in terms of the green building aspect. So we hope that this kind of effort and leadership of the MENA region can also inspire the actions across the globe, as well as, for example, ISESCO now supporting the work of the development of the global greening education dashboard. So all the ones that I mentioned that the target is, for example, to have half of the schools in each country climate ready and green school by 2030. So starting this COP30, we will be publishing on this greening education dashboard the names of the countries, as well as what percentages of schools that they are greened, and also the list of green schools in each country. So we will be continuing to support and accelerate and advocate for green schools across the world, while also providing capacity building and additional contextualized teaching and learning materials to ensure that every learner is climate ready by 2030. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Juan, for explaining UNESCO's approach to collaboration. Thank you. Moving back to Dr. Sausan. From your experience with the Tunisia Green Building Council, what are the unique challenges faced in Tunisia that may be common across the region?
Well, I think Tunisia is facing the same challenges, environmental challenges as the other MENA region countries, but particularly Tunisia is facing water scarcity and the stress of, limited rainfalls and the increased desertification. So we have real challenges, real climate challenges. And talking about public awareness regarding, sustainability, I think it is growing, but it still needs a lot of efforts and work, mainly in particular communities, mainly students and educational system. In Tunisia Green Building Council, with our board, we are defining strategies, on short term, but also long term strategies. It's based on three pillars. The first one is the buildings themselves, and as mentioned by Ibrahim and Juan, I think it's important, first of all, to assess and to evaluate the buildings, for example, their carbon emission, energy consumption, etc. And maybe we are going to train administration, teachers, and students so they can make the job by themselves and we will accompany them and help them, first of all, assess the sustainability of their buildings, and then work and define strategies and actions to make a good quality environment, an inspiring environment, as said by Ibrahim. So this is the first pillar on which we are working, and we are counting on our members, but also on our all partners to enhance our buildings. Then the second pillar is our curriculum and programs. And here again, what we have today in Tunisia, it's based on voluntary initiatives, from teachers or some schools or some students, but we don't have this formalized, or standards, sustainability education. And what we are looking and working for is kind of advocacy for governments and policies to make, mandatory courses at different levels of education, primary, secondary, and universities, so that we can, for more consistency, to ensure consistency and also scalability, so we can have a formalized sustainability education in our schools, because we are preparing our students to the future. And I think the future will be complicated, taken into consideration the great challenges, environmental and climate challenges, and we need to prepare them in the best way we can. The third pillar is community engagement. And here again, we are working with all our partners. I talked about the governments and local communities, but also, with economic key players of the Tunisian ecosystem to support us in our actions. Here again, we have different partners from different industries, banking, consultancy, IT companies, etc. But we have also, and we count a lot with on youth, and we have youth partners like, for example, Cumulus Startup, which is an inspiring and very innovative startup, which makes us very proud as Tunisian. It's co-founded by two Tunisian engineers, and they find a kind of device or machine that captures water in the air, and it's able to generate more than 3 liters of water per day based on solar energy. So they are planted today in Tunisia, but also in France, Spain, and Morocco. And with them, as you can see in the slides, they already implanted, this is the device, as you see, and it's able to generate clean water and affordable water every day. And what we are working today is to make our school greener, is to install these machines in different schools. But because, in Tunisia, particularly in rural regions, we still have schools which do not have access to basic sanitation and clean water. And this kind of devices can offer clean water and affordable water. And this is in the next slide, for example, you can see that Cumulus has already installed these devices in a school in the south of Tunisia. And here they offered water for every day to more than 100 students and 20 staff. And what we are looking for is to generalize these installations and machines in different schools in Tunisia. We have also other youth partners, which are Youth Hub, and it's a startup, and in the recent years they have trained hundreds and hundreds of kids and teenagers on entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurship with social and environmental impact. And with them, we are aiming to define, challenges, because previously I talked about tailoring our strategies. And when we have a target based on kids and teenagers, we can engage them through gaming, playing, and through challenges. And with Youth Hub, we are defining, strategy with challenges in different schools to make their school greener, and then make a national competition with and offering rewards for the greener school and the greener initiatives. It is one of the ways by which we will educate indirectly our kids and students to environmental challenges, but also to make them aware of eco-friendly practices. So here again, we are also working with other partners hand by hand to, and I think it's not difficult to convince our partners, because we are talking about education and sustainability. I think this is the future. So we won't have a lot of difficulty to convince our partners in Tunisia to join the movement. So I hope we will have more actions and more efficiency in making our schools greener and greener in Tunisia.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sousan. It's clear that Tunisia's challenges are not unique and they resonate across the region, but the solutions you're working on can definitely help shape a more sustainable futures for all our schools in the MENA region. Now, with a couple of minutes left, we want to ask all attendees if they can add in the chat any gaps that they think we can fill. These will definitely help us to focus on and within our alliance. So if you can kindly add those to the chat, and I will in a couple of seconds, if you can, if the speakers can answer, in your view, what should be the primary focus of our alliance, and where do you see gaps that we as a collective are best positioned to address? If you can say it in a couple of words.
Sarah, if you would allow me, I saw a few questions as we were talking, and one of them really grabbed my attention. Actually, a few of them did. Sarah?
Arwa, is it the one on food waste, or which one
It's
are you
the
referring to?
it's how do you impact the official curriculum and engage the governments? I think I'd like to answer. It's asked by Hannah Ala Modern. This question, I think it is. I think the Sustainable Schools Initiative module really helps in answering this question, and it's a really good question. So when we talk about the official curriculum, we talk about a number of experiences. We talk about a number of, a huge number of sources, and it's a big source of knowledge, which is the curriculum. From our experience in the Sustainable Schools Initiative, we started. We are a government agency, but believe it or not, we as an initiative had worked for so long on agreements with the government agent or with the governmental departments that are directly responsible for schools. One, and two, with schools themselves, for them to inspire them to finally adopt the initiative. When we talk about impacting the official curriculum, while this is possible with mutual collaboration and mutual interest, we took another approach through one of the main components of the Sustainable Schools Initiative, which is training the trainers. We made sure that all the Sustainable School Initiative participants, that all the teachers have included environmental education in their curriculum. We made sure that we still actually make sure that, even, for example, the Arabic teacher, because like, for example, the Arabic subject, although it is a literature subject, we made sure through mutual collaboration that the Arabic teacher also instills the sense of sustainability, which is through training the trainers, which is a component of SSI. So they receive the training from us, and they receive the knowledge from us, and the teacher works out a method to involve it in the curriculum. And the same example. is applicable in many other subjects. So even the math teacher, even the sciences teacher, through official training that we released from our agency to the teachers. And we
Thank,
also made it kind of a requirement for the schools that are participating in the initiative.
thank
So
you very
while
much.
it is, yes, okay.
Thank you very much. It was very insightful. Thank you very much. With just a couple of minutes left, 2 minutes
Yeah,
to be
yeah, it's
exact,
okay.
I would like to generally ask the speakers if you think we need to focus on anything and give it any extra attention to.
Sarah, if I can start, and part of what we're heading to for the alliance and focusing on our three pillars, schools, teachers, and students, we need collaboration and we need involvement from GBCs, from NGOs, from everyone to proceed in our committees and to start our collaboration. I'm looking into my experience with the sustainability movement all over the schools. There will be some challenges at the start, but for sure, when there is a momentum and a belief in change, we can make that change. Although we are not in the curriculum, as Arwa was explaining, but I believe a collaboration on this could help make a big transformation from the curriculum and extra curriculum engagement that can create a big change.
I also would like to add something, Sarah, if you just I want to share with the audience today links to eGreen platform, which is the first e-learning platform dedicated to the environmental sector in the Middle East, where we have a huge number, a huge number of educational modules on integrating sustainability in the school. You can just anyone who is with us today can visit the platform and even take courses. It's open to everyone, even that are even to global visitors. I'm also sharing the link to naha.ae, where we usually have all of our initiatives. So I think it would serve as a really good source for everyone who's interested in um, that part of knowledge.
Thank you very much, Arwa. This is very helpful. Thank you.
Sarah, if I can add something.
Sure, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So maybe to sum up, I think that we have to work on cumulative and collaborative efforts, and we have to empower each other. I think we today you talked about very inspiring initiatives and actions that you organized in different contexts and countries, and I think that we have to learn from each other. And this webinar was very excellent, an excellent opportunity for all of us to learn about a lot of details. But what I suggest maybe is organizing a real event, in-person event, a big event when we can, invite all the stakeholders, GBCs, but also all our partners and stakeholders to brainstorm together, to share our experience, different experience, and then to brainstorm and maybe end up with a formalized, kind of chart and strategy and plan. And if you want, we can invite you. We can start in Tunisia if you want for our first big event.
That would be amazing. Thank
Sounds
you very
really
much.
Sarah,
exciting.
indeed. And just also from my end, last words, yeah, I would like to invite you to consider joining at this global level partnership, Greening Education Partnership, and also to share your examples through this Green School Quality Standard Alignment so that we see all of your networks and your amazing schools activities also spotlighted at global stages. So we look forward to this continued collaboration. Of course, UNESCO offices based in MENA region are standing there with our colleagues to support you on the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. And I think this we're gonna draw the end here. And thank you very much for all your time and your insightful perspectives. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.